Hi modern fashion designers, welcome back to class. This is Modern Woman Apparel. I want to specially thank all my existing subscribers. You guys have been so amazing. Meanwhile, if this is your first time here, please feel free to be part of us. Hit on the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so as to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And today's special hug goes to our sister Ebere Francisca of EB Sunshine Fashion. She wrote Modern Woman, Beauty with Brain. Oh, this one suits me. Oh. And when I replied her that we have a master class on hip and butt padding, she still went ahead to pay for the class. Thank you so much, Ebere Francisca. We love you. So guys, in today's class, we are going to be doing the sewing tutorial of this beautiful top. And I'm going to be using this Ankara fabric here, this African print. Paper stay for both the Ankara, the lining. I'm using this lightweight wadding. So you can use the medium weight wadding. So whatever breast pad of your choice that you normally make use of, feel free to work with it. And I'll also be using this. Yes, this is my latest technique and my customers are loving it. I can even go without this, but the combination of the both, so amazing. So I'll be using this plain fabric here. This is a crepe. You can make use of any plain fabric of your choice, and I'll be using this cotton estee for the crepe. Don't forget you need your zipper and your thread. I'll also be using a chantilly net for the sleeve. It is not here presently, but you'll get to see it when it's time for us to attach it. So guys, you already know we have done the comprehensive, the well-detailed pattern drafting on the part 1 of this class. So if you are just joining us and you have not seen the part 1 of this class, please rush now to the comment section. You'll find the link to the part 1 of this tutorial. So right now what we are going to do is to transfer all these patterns to fabric and add all the necessary seam allowances. So guys, before I go ahead and cut, I just want to show you how to place your pattern. This is an asymmetric neckline, so we are not cutting any of the parts on fold. So you can see my fabric is single, right? I didn't put it on fold. You can see that my fabric is facing the front part of my fabric is facing up. This is not the wrong part of my fabric. Do you understand? So you have to put the front part of your main fabric up, so and place your pattern. So you may be wondering why all these places are here. This is how I always cut my bustier. I always align this straight line here, this bust line. So I always align it to be straight before cutting out, and it has always come out so beautiful. So I just want to show you how to go about it. Right now I'm just going to add all the necessary seam allowances, and I'll show you how much seam allowance I added. And mind you, when you're also cutting the back, this is exactly the same way you're going to cut the back. The main fabric, the right part of your fabric has to be facing up, but for your lining, the wrong part will be facing up. I hope you understand. And this is exactly the same way you're going to be cutting them single, each of them. You are not putting your fabric on fold. I hope you understand. So guys, I'll go ahead and cut this and we'll move over to the next step. So guys, as you can see, I'm done cutting the main fabric. Like I said earlier, if you're the type that always iron your interfacing on your fabric and on your lining before putting everything on top of each other to cut at once, please make sure that the front part of the main fabric is facing up and the wrong side of the lining is facing up. Do you understand? And if you are the type that always cut your main fabric first before cutting out the lining, all you need to do is to place this main fabric right side facing each other with the lining, and you cut out the lining. So you can see all the front parts. Hope you can see what I have here. So this is the center front. You already know that we are not cutting anyone on fold, right? So just place it this way and cut out. So you can see this is 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch on the armhole here. I added 2 inches here, and on the down part here I added 1 inch. So this is also 1/2 inch all round. The only part I have 1 inch is on the hemline. Now this part here, this is also 1/2 inch all round. For this, you can see 1/2 inch here, 2 inches as the seam allowance. So this depends on how many inches you normally work with. So, and 1 inch here. Now for the back part, you can see the side we are using as our zipper allowance here. You can see I added 1.5 inches. I'll use 1/2 inch to turn the lining, and I'll be left with 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So I added 1.5 here, 1/2 inch on all of these parts, and my 2 inches here. Remember the 1 inch on the hemline. So the same thing here, these two are coming together, 1.5, half inch on this side and 1 inch. So this one, we are joining these two together, so we still need our half inch here. You can see the half inch that runs on the armhole area, my 2 inches for the side seam allowance, and my 1 inch on the hemline. Hope you understand. So right now I'm going to go over and place all these parts right side facing each other with the lining.
And also note that the hemline of your lining will be half an inch shorter than your main fabric.
And after that, I'll pick all the pieces and add my interfacing to all of it, and we'll continue. You know that we haven't cut out the cape. We'll do that as we continue. So guys, as you can see, I've infused my paper stay. So I use paper stay for this. I've infused my interfacing on both the main fabric and the lining. I've also gone ahead to put my wording. So you can see I've also gummed my wording to this. Can you see I'm making use of a lightweight wording? Like I said earlier, I'll be also using it with bra cup. So if you're not using bra cup, you can consider using the medium weight wording for this. So you can attach it on your main fabric or on the lining. For me, whenever I'm making use of whenever I'm making an Ankara fabric, I always prefer it on the main fabric, except maybe I'm making use of English fabric. That is when I put this wording on my lining. For the wording, what I did was just to come down here by 1 inch, and that is it. You always know, you know how we measure to get where this one will be, right? And one thing you have to notice that is very important, like I always say, that you notch your underbust. So please put notches on your underbust while transferring your patterns to fabric. So you can see on all the front parts, I'm having notches on all the front parts of this. Now what I'm going to do is to pick this up, match the underbust notches, and I'll sew. So the same thing from this side to this side. Join the front parts together, also bring the back parts here. Can you see? I'll sew these two together, and this one is going to be separate. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to join the front part. So after joining, all you need to do is to notch the underbust and open press. So you can see what I have here. You can also see that I made a notch around here to know where my joining will stop. Can you see? Now this is also the back part here. After joining, you give a notch on this curved part and open press. So this is what we have for the main fabric. I also repeated same thing on the lining fabric. As you can see, this is my lining fabric. So the same thing you did to the main fabric, you repeat it to the lining fabric. So what I'm going to do is to attach my bra cup. So this is my bra cup here. So what I did is to fold it into 2 equal halves. Can you see? Fold it equally and come out from the center by half an inch and go up by 2 inches and stitch. So after stitching here, the next thing is to fold it this way. Push this dart to one part and top stitch, just like I did here. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on this part here. So I'm going to be attaching it on the lining, not on the main fabric. Now for my princess that bustier, this position works best for me. So I'm going to be positioning it this way, the right side of the cup facing up. So the wrong side of the cup and the wrong side of the lining facing each other. I'll just tilt it to this way and pin here. So I'm going to pin the underbust, then position it this way and start sewing from here into the same line. So after that, I'll also do same thing to this very side here. Can you see? Now when I get to this part here, I'm going to trim here a little bit so it doesn't get to my sewing allowance. So I'm going to trim it down to about 1 inch before this edge here. Do you understand? And also attach it. I'll do that and continue. So you can see what I have after joining. So this is how the front will be. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to pick these up. Remember, this is how the front part is, right? This is how the front part is. So I'm going to bring the back part of it. See, I'm going to bring this back part and join these two together here. Right side facing each other. I'll join the shoulder. I'll also place this right side facing each other this way and also join the shoulder. I'll also repeat same thing on the lining. So after joining, this is what I have, as you can see. So this is the back part, while this is the front part. Now before we go ahead to turn this with the lining, we are going to bring our cape. So we are going to cut our cape, and you know the cape is going to run from here to this part, and the other cape is going to run from here to here. So I'm going to bring our cape pattern and we'll go ahead and cut the cape. So guys, as you can see, this is the band that we already drafted. So this is the front side, which has the armhole. So what I did here is to also add my front side seam allowance to this part so that it will meet the side of my blouse. So this is it. Can you see? From the armhole, both of them are the same length here. And this other part here, remember this is the shoulder. So this part here will also have my zipper allowance. This is the back where we are having the zipper allowance, the zipper. So this part too, I also added my zipper allowance. So this is it. Can you see? From the shoulder, can you see what I have there? So make sure that you include it. Now for this is the upper part that is coming like this way. So you need 1/2 inch here. Remember, always remember to label. So you need 1/2 inch here to join here. And this is also the zipper. Remember, these two are coming together this way. So the same zipper allowance you have at the back. So add your zipper allowance to the back. Here we have 1/2 inch. And up here, you know, we are going to join this together. So we have 1/2 inch here on top and 1/2 inch below. So what I'm going to do, you need 2 of it. So I'm using crepe for the main fabric and taffeta for the line. You can also use the same fabric both for the line and the main fabric. Do you understand? So I'm going to use my stay on these two, on all of it, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn the lower part. So just turn only the lower part. Do not forget to notch the upper part on the shoulder line, of the upper part. As you can see, my notch is there because this part must sit right on the shoulder seam line. Do you understand? Now if this is going to confuse you, all you need to do is to bring your fresh fabric this way. Just lay your fresh fabric and place this way. Can you see? Just place it, and with it, I'm just showing you, just place it, and with it you trace the armhole. Hope you can see what I'm doing. So with it you trace out the armhole to this very side. When you trace it out, you bring out this and draw the shape of the cape you want. And after that, you also take this very part here and trace it out here. Trace this out to here and trace here out. And after that, you cut out the shape of the cape you want. I think that is easier. If that pattern is going to confuse you, just do this one. So I'm going to turn the cape and we continue. So when you are done turning, you go ahead and top stitch this side. Remember, you're only going to turn the lower part, so go ahead and top stitch the upper part and the sides. So what we are going to do now is to set this very bigger part aside. And you see this part, we're going to set it aside and we'll start working on this smaller panel. So what you do is just to place this way. Can you see? Place it this way and top stitch. So after top stitching, you place the lining for this very side and use it to turn the neckline, turn the sides and the down part. So when you are done, it should look like this. Can you see? Don't forget that you have to first top stitch this one on the main fabric. Do you understand? So after top stitching, that is when you will turn with your lining. So I only turned the neckline, the side and the down part. Can you see? So this part here, the armhole is open while this part is open. I also went ahead to push the seam allowance to the lining side and also top stitched the neckline. Can you see? Can you see double lines here? Can you see? Now what I'm going to do is to turn this to the right side. When you turn it to the right side, all you need to do is to iron it. So while ironing the neckline, please put your hemming gum here on the neckline and iron it so that it lays flat. Do you understand? After that, the next thing to do is to pick up this part here and top stitch. Do not forget the notch you made on the shoulder. So the notch is going to rest on the shoulder seam line this way, and you top stitch. Place this one this way and top stitch. Also top stitch this side to this way. So I will do that and show you what to do next.
So after joining, the next thing we are going to do before we attach the lining of this very part is to bring the other smaller part. So you notice that you already know that it's going to be here, right? So what we are going to do now is to turn it this way, right side facing each other with this part, and we join. So remember the notch I told you to make earlier, where that one is going to sit on. So my notch is there. I'm going to start joining from there to make sure it doesn't cross the notch, and I'll just stitch with my 1/2 inch.
After joining here, you can see what we have here now. Can you see? So next is to turn these parts with the lining. So what we are going to do now is to still keep these parts this way and bring the lining of these parts. Can you see? Now you place it this way and turn the whole of the neckline. So you turn the neckline, making sure that the shoulder is matching with the shoulder. Can you see? After joining the neckline, you turn the side, the down part, the sides, leaving only the armhole. So you are turning both the side of the back and the side and the down part of the front. So when you get to this part here, all you need to do is to pin it down, making sure that these two are matching each other here. You join. So I'll do that and show you. So as you can see here, I placed my lining. Can you see? So the stitch the neckline and the sides. Can you see the sides and the down parts?
So when I got to this front part here, it was kind of difficult turning the front part the way we turn the back because of the curvy side. So what I did was to reduce the hemline of my main fabric. You know, our lining is 1/2 inch shorter than the main fabric. So what I did was to reduce the main fabric by 1/2 inch to be equal length with the lining, and I just turned it with 1/2 inch. That way is much easier.
So I'm going to turn this. Remember, the armhole is still open. The armhole of the both sides still open. So I'm going to notch here. So you also notch here.
After notching the down part, also go to the neckline and notch it. Now from the armhole, you turn it.
That we have turned it to the right side. Can you see what we have? Looking so pretty already. Look at this part here. So this part here, if it's difficult for it to come out, to give you these sharp points, use whatever you have to bring it out. So the next thing we are going to do now is to iron. Now to iron this, please make use of this. So you find a way to put this. This has to be inside here, this way. It has to be here, this way. It has to go to this part here. Find a way to stuff it in. And also on the neckline here, and also on the neckline here, you put it inside the neckline here to hold it firm. Do you understand? So after that, after giving it a good press, you top stitch the armhole. So let's do that. Now I want to give you a tip on how to iron this. Please, when you want to put your hemming gum inside, you can see my hemming gum. Can you see my hemming gum is inside? All you need to do is, before you iron, please don't let this part lay like this. Separate these parts this way. Separate it before ironing. Please separate it and then you iron. Can you see? Separate it from this lining and main fabric and iron. Do not iron it together like this. Can you see? Do not iron it together like this, else the appearance of this one is going to be rough. So please, before you iron it, please separate it this way and then place your iron like this. When you are done with these two, you then come to the front of this, place this one and this way, and iron this way from the top. Iron it from the right side. Please do not iron it while it is this way, as here is going to be rough. Do you understand? So now that I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and top stitch this side After top stitching, the next thing to do is to add my zipper this way. After adding my zipper, remember I said first thing top stitch here, and of course here top stitch, then add your zipper. I'm going to add my zipper. After adding my zipper, then I will lay it right side facing each other, and I'm going to join the sides. So guys, after joining, this is what I have. Remember, you have to join the armhole, you have to top stitch the armhole, join the zipper, and then shape the sides. So this is what I have. Now one thing that you may notice is, this is not, the zipper is not on the center, and you know that whenever we are drafting a blouse or whatever that, or anything that has the zipper on the center, we normally do our back tightening, right? So you notice that on this one we only took the dart, there was no back tightening. Now after wearing this clothes and peradventure you notice any bulge around the zipper side, all you need to do is just mark your waistline. So you just go to your waistline. Can you see? Now remember that I added 1.5 inches for the zipper allowance, and after using ½ inch to turn the lining, we have 1 inch for the zipper allowance, and you can see that I used 1 inch here, right? Now if you experience any zipper bulge, all you need to do is just to remove the zipper to the waist side and go in. So instead of taking 1 inch at the zipper side, just go in by 1.5 and connect into the 1 inch this way. Can you see? That's peradventure you notice, or you or your customer, your clients notice any zipper bulge, just do that on the both side. Go to the waistline and go in by ½ inch. Instead of doing the same 1 inch, instead of taking 1 inch all through, go to the waistline and go in and take 1.5 this way. Do you understand? What we are going to do right now is to draft out the sleeve, and you already know that this is a basic sleeve. So I'll be using a chantilly lace for this. So the first thing you're going to do is to turn this to the wrong side, just like the blouse now is on the wrong side. Now you can see that I left allowance here on the sleeve. That is because you do not have to sew to this end. You, after attaching your sleeve, you continue stitching. I hope you understand. So I'm going to measure what I have on the armhole from the allowance. Everything I have on the armhole, I'm going to measure it. Can you see? I have 9 inches here. Now I'm going to take note of this 9 inches and we'll begin to draft out our sleeve. So for the sake of those that are still finding it difficult to draft their basic sleeve, so this is how to go about it. Remember, we measured the armhole and we got 9 inches. So what I'm going to do now is to step down here from the edge. I'm going to at least come down to get my margin line. So the next thing I'm going to do is to divide my bust circumference by 12 plus 1 inch to get the bicep line. So when I divide so 37 divided by 12 plus 1 will give me approximately 4 inches. And I'll rule a line. So remember, we got 9 inches as half of the armhole. So what I'm going to do is to remove 1 inch from the 9 inches, and I'll have 8 inches. So this is 8 inches there. So from here, I'll connect with a slanted line to this place. So, and whatever I have here, can see that I have 9 inches here. Can you see? So that is the essence of removing 1 inch from it, so that you won't have excess. So this 9 inches, I'm going to share it into 2. I'm going to get the midpoint of the 9 inches, which is at 4.5, and this 4.5, I'll get the midpoint, which is at 2.25. I'll also get from here to here is 2.25, and from here to here 4.5. I'll still divide it by 2, and I'll still get 2.25. Can you see? Now on this first point here, I'll go up by 0.75. On this lower point, this last point here, I'll go down by 0.5 inches, 0.5 inch. Now I will bring my curve ruler and connect from this point to this center one and to this one. So can you see? See, place your curve ruler this way, connect from this center point, touching the 0.75 and going back to the initial line. Then you put it this way and connect from this point, this, and touching this line. Can you see? So this is it, just like a shallow S. The next thing you're going to do is to take your elbow measurement. So you're going to take your elbow measurement, and the next thing to do is to take your sleeve measurement. Can you see? So this is the elbow length, and this is the length of the sleeve. For this, I will not be adding any seam allowance to it because I'm going to be using the edge. That way I'm not folding it, but if you are to be folding yours, please add your folding allowance. Now on the elbow, you divide your elbow circumference by 2 and add your desired seam allowance. On the sleeve length, divide your sleeve circumference by 2 and add your desired seam allowance. So connect this way. And this way. Now you notice that we added seam allowance to this very part, but here we do not need to add seam allowance because when we were measuring the elbow, we measured everything including the seam allowance, so we are not adding seam allowance on this part. The only part we need to add seam allowance is on this upper part. So go ahead and add 1/2 inch to join this part to your armhole. Can you see? Now I'm going to cut this out, and I will use it to cut out my basic sleeve, and after that I will just attach it on the armhole and I'll show you what we have.
So when you're placing this on your fabric, you need to place your fabric on fold and cut out 2 for the 2 sleeves.
So guys, we are not yet done. Who else noticed that we have not added the down design, the design on the front hemline? So we are back. So all you need to do is to open here if you have not joined it. So I'm going to be showing you 2 ways of doing this. So you can see I have opened my hemline. Do you understand? So I'll still go ahead and open this part. So pick up your velvet sequin, and all you need to do is to cut on bias. Please do not forget, cut on bias. Then you need 2 inches. So the width of this, or the length of it, from here to here, I have 2 inches. So if you are cutting on bias, it's going to be 1 inch on fold. Now please do not add any interface to it like this. I'm going to put this one off. Do not add interface to it. The reason for it is because of this side. You know, this part is not straight, so you need this part, you need this to be fluffy so that it can fit into this. Do you understand? If you add interfacing to it, turning, you're going to have a hard time turning this very part here. But if it's just for this part alone, you know, you can add interface. But because we want to have this curve we have here, please do not add interface to this. So when you sew, now when you cut this out, all you need to do is to iron 1/2 inch and iron another 1/2 inch this way. Remember, do not add interface. So iron 1/2 inch up and down. Now you start from the inside, you sew. So you're top stitching, you're placing it this way, you're top stitching. And when you get here, so I purposely left here for you to see what I'm going to do here. So when you get here, so this part, that is exactly why you do not need to add interface to it, so that you can relax. And you know, because this is fluffy, it won't show any bulge around there. So you just continue like that. When you get here, you cut out and fold in 1/2 inch. And when you come to this side, when you get here, you cut this out and start from here. So fold in 1/2 inch this way, 1/2 inch this way, and also continue to you get to, you know, we are going to open this same line, right? So you get to the inside of it. This is how to do. Now you ask, modern woman, what about those that are not using this fluffy fabric? What are they going to do? Worry no more, we are here for you. We move. So for those that do not want to use that particular, so like I told you, that is the first alternative after everything you top stitch, which is the easiest. Now you want to, maybe you're not using a fluffy fabric and you're thinking how to go about it. All you need to do is take your pattern paper. So take your pattern paper. As you can see, I went in 1 inch, right, and drew this on this part here. So take your pattern paper and go in by 1 inch. Can you see? on this part. Now this part is straight, so you do not necessarily need to start marking this part, because whatever you cut will still fit into this part, right? So all you need to do is to use your tracing wheel, trace it out, trace out the pattern like we did for the cape. And to attach this, you're going to be attaching it. If your fabric is not fluff, you know that very bias, even while you top stitch on it, it doesn't really show, the same lines doesn't really show. So if you're using a different kind of fabric, all you need to do is to bring out your pattern. Now when you want to transfer your pattern to fabric, remember here we have 0.5 because you're joining these two together, right? 0.5, and we added 0.5 to this side. Remember to have here, you know, you have to fold, so even here we'll have 0.5 this way, or you can decide to add it before tracing it out. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, now that we have added it, this part, remember your 1 inch, very important, very important. This part, remember your 1 inch, very important. And this part, whatever, so I added 2 inches to my same line, to my side seam, so I'm still going to add 2 inches to this when cutting it out. So how do you go about it? After bringing it out, like transferring it to your fabric, now this very one you can decide to add interface because it's already following the shape of what you have here, right? So you add interface, and now to attach it, all you're going to do is to bring, so I'm going to be using this is the front part of this. I cut it out using this pattern. So first of all, you have to attach these two sides first. Attach it and open press the same line first, leaving only this part. So as you can see, I've attached these two sides. Don't forget to open press. So let's assume that this is it. I've already cut out all. So what I'll do is, can you see? What I'll do is, see, I'm only folding one part of it. I'm leaving the other part because we are turning it with the lining. So you're going to be turning it with your lining. So you place it this way. You stitch the inside. So don't forget to rule across along where this will be. You stitch it this way and you fold this way, iron and top stitch here. And you also use the pattern for this place here. Do the same thing, use the pattern for this part, repeat the same thing before joining these two together. Now this very part here, your lining, when you are turning the front part, your lining will help you to turn this very rough part. I hope you understand. So that is how to go about it. So guys, this is the final outcome of our top. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. And if you want to join our masterclass on hip and butt padding, please do where to reach me on WhatsApp with the number on the screen. I remain yours, modern woman. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.